My hands trembled as I adjusted my tie in the rearview mirror. 5 years. 5 years since I'd been on a date, since Emily had walked out, leaving me alone with our 3-year-old son, Noah. 5 years of bedtime stories, scraped knees, and parent-teacher conferences, all solo. Tonight was supposed to be different. Tonight was supposed to be about me. But as I sat across from Melissa, watching her tuck a strand of chestnut hair behind her ear while she laughed at my joke, I never expected 4 words to send my world spinning. I'm a single mom. If you've ever felt your heart split between hope and fear, between moving forward and protecting what you already have, stay with me. This story might just change how you see love after loss. Hit that like button and subscribe if you've ever taken a risk that terrified you, or if you're still gathering the courage to take one. When Noah was born, I had it all mapped out. The perfect family. Me, Emily, and our son. We'd be the ones posting those sickeningly sweet holiday cards every year. But life rarely follows our carefully laid plans. I came home from work one evening to find Emily's closet half empty and a note on our bed. I can't do this anymore. I'm not cut out to be a mother. Just like that, my life as I knew it was over. The first year was a blur of sleepless nights, trying to balance work deadlines while learning how to braid hair for crazy hair day at preschool. Noah would cry for his mom, and I'd hold him close, my own tears mixing with his. "It's okay, buddy," I'd whisper. "Dad's got you." But inside, I was drowning, wondering if I'd ever be enough. By the time Noah turned 8, we'd found our rhythm. I'd built my graphic design business to allow work-from-home days. We had Taco Tuesdays and Saturday morning pancake traditions. Noah was thriving, bright, curious, with Emily's artistic talent and my stubborn determination. I convinced myself this was enough, that I didn't need anything or anyone else in my life. Then came Jen, my sister and Noah's favorite aunt, with her relentless meddling. "David, you can't spend the rest of your life alone," she insisted during one of our weekly dinners. "I'm not alone," I argued, gesturing toward Noah, who was absorbed in his Nintendo Switch at the other end of the table. "I've got the only person I need right here." Jen sighed, that exasperated look I'd known since childhood crossing her face. "Noah's gonna grow up, David. He'll have his own life someday. And then what? You'll be 50, alone, with nothing but your sourdough starter for company." "Hey, don't mock Herbert," I joked, referring to my pandemic-born baking hobby. "He's very sensitive." "I'm setting you up," she declared, already scrolling through her phone. "Melissa. She's new at my office. Smart, funny kind. You'll love her." I wanted to protest, but something stopped me. Maybe it was the growing realization that Noah was indeed becoming more independent. Maybe it was the quiet emptiness of the house on the weekends he spent with friends. Or maybe it was just time. The restaurant Melissa chose was casual, yet elegant. String lights hanging from exposed beams, soft jazz playing in the background. I arrived 15 minutes early, a habit from years of planning around a child's schedule. When she walked in, I knew I was in trouble. She wasn't flashy or conventionally stunning in the way Emily had been. Melissa's beauty was quieter, in the warmth of her smile and the intelligence behind her eyes. "You must be David," she said, extending her hand. "I hope you haven't been waiting long." "Not at all," I lied, suddenly conscious of my sweaty palms. "It's nice to meet you, Melissa." The conversation flowed easily from the start. She worked in marketing at Jen's firm, loved true crime podcasts, and had a wicked sense of humor. We discovered a shared love of old bookstores and breakfast for dinner. She didn't flinch when I mentioned Noah, seemed genuinely interested in hearing about him. "He sounds wonderful," she said, a soft smile playing on her lips. "You must be very proud." "I am," I replied, feeling the familiar swell of emotion whenever I talked about my son. "He's the best thing that's ever happened to me." There was a moment's pause, and I saw something shift in her expression, a decision being made. "I understand that completely," she said, taking a deep breath. "I have a daughter, Lily. She's 6. I'm a single mom." For words. For simple words that shouldn't have affected me the way they did. But suddenly, all I could see were complications. Another child. Another parent. Competing schedules. Conflicting parenting styles. The potential for more heartbreak. Not just for me, but for Noah, What if we got serious and then things fell apart? How would that affect the kids? I like to say I handled it gracefully, that I nodded understandingly and continued our wonderful evening. But the truth is I froze. The rest of dinner passed in a blur of stilted conversation and long pauses. When I dropped her off, I gave her an awkward side hug and mumbled something about calling her. The disappointment in her eyes stayed with me for days. "You're an idiot," Jen declared when I told her what happened. "So, she has a kid. So do you. That's not a problem. It's common ground." "It's not that simple," I argued. "Dating someone with a child is complicated." "Of course it's complicated. Life is complicated, David. But that doesn't mean it's not worth it." I couldn't stop thinking about Melissa, about her laugh, the way she listened so intently when I spoke, how her eyes crinkled at the corners when she smiled. But more than that, I couldn't stop thinking about what she'd said about her daughter. The love in her voice had been so familiar. It was the same way I sounded when I talked about Noah. A week later, I was helping Noah with his science project when he looked up at me, his face serious in a way that always made him look older than his years. "Dad, are you sad about something?" I paused, glue gun in hand. "What makes you ask that, buddy?" He shrugged. "You've been quiet, and you keep sighing. And you made pancakes on Wednesday, which isn't pancake day." I set down the glue gun, amazed at how observant he'd become. "I met someone. A woman. We went on a date." His eyes widened. "Like a girlfriend?" "No, not a girlfriend. Just someone I might like to know better. But it's complicated." "Because of me?" he asked, his voice small. My heart broke a little. "No, Noah, never because of you. She has a daughter, actually. And I guess I'm a little scared about what that might mean. For all of us." He seemed to consider this seriously, chewing on his bottom lip the way he did when working through a difficult math problem. "Is she nice?" "The lady?" "Yes," I said, smiling despite myself. "She's very nice." "And is her daughter nice?" "I don't know. I haven't met her yet." Noah nodded sagely. "Well, you should probably find out. That seems important. From the mouths of babes, as they say." That night, after Noah was asleep, I called Melissa. I apologized for my behavior and asked if she'd be willing to meet again, this time with the kids. There was a long pause, and I was certain she was going to refuse. But then she laughed, a sound that loosened something tight in my chest. "I'd like that," she said. "But I should warn you. Lily is going through a phase where she asks extremely personal questions to strangers. Last week she asked our mailman if he wears dentures." I laughed. Noah once asked our elderly neighbor if she was alive during the dinosaurs. Kids, right? We decided on the Children's Museum that weekend. As Noah and I waited by the entrance, I felt more nervous than before a first date. This wasn't just about me anymore. This was about our children, about potential futures I'd been too afraid to imagine. When I saw Melissa approaching, holding hands with a small girl in overalls and light-up sneakers, my mouth went dry. This was it, the moment our separate lives might begin to intertwine. "David, Noah, this is Lily," Melissa said, gently encouraging her daughter forward. Lily looked up at me with serious brown eyes. "Do you know how to make mac and cheese?" she asked without preamble. I blinked, then smiled. "I do, actually, with extra cheese." She nodded approvingly. "Mom burns it sometimes." "Lily," Melissa gasped, but she was laughing. Noah, who had been hanging back, stepped forward. "I have a Nintendo Switch. Do you like video games?" And just like that, the ice was broken. The children raced ahead to the bubble exhibit while Melissa and I followed, exchanging amused glances. "She seems great," I said. "So does Noah. He has your eyes." As we watched our children play together, something shifted. I saw, perhaps for the first time, that what I'd been viewing as complications were actually possibilities. The chance for Noah to have a friend, a sister even. The opportunity for growth, for expanding our small world. That day at the museum stretched into dinner at a pizza place, then a weekend hike, then movie nights alternating between our homes. Slowly, carefully, we began building something. 2 single parents, 2 wounded hearts, 2 children who deserved all the love in the world. It wasn't always smooth. There were tears and tantrums, not all from the kids, disagreements about bedtimes and screen time, moments of insecurity when old wounds reopened. Lily went through a phase where she tested every boundary, I said. Noah had a meltdown when he found Melissa sitting in Mom's chair at our kitchen table. 6 months in, Melissa and I had our first real fight. It was over something small. I'd let Lily have ice cream before dinner when she was staying with us. But it escalated quickly. You can't just break the rules because you want to be the fun one, Melissa snapped. I'm not trying to be the fun one, I shot back. I just don't think one scoop of ice cream is going to ruin her life. That's not the point, and you know it. We agreed on consistent parenting between households. I felt my defenses rise. Oh, like when you let Noah stay up until 10 on a school night. Her eyes flashed. That was different. We were finishing a movie. It's always different when it's you making the decision, I said coldly. The silence that followed was deafening. I saw hurt bloom across her face, followed quickly by anger. This is why I was hesitant to date another parent, she said quietly. It's twice the complications, twice the opportunities for things to go wrong. Maybe we rushed into this, I said, immediately regretting the words. She gathered her purse, her movements sharp. Maybe we did. After she left, I sat alone in my kitchen, the weight of what had just happened settling over me. Was this it? The beginning of the end? Had I sabotaged the best thing that had happened to me in years because I was afraid? The next morning, I dropped Noah at school and drove to Melissa's office with her favorite coffee and an apology ready. But she beat me to it, standing in the parking lot with 2 coffees of her own. We both laughed, the tension dissolving. I'm sorry, I said. I overreacted. So did I, she admitted. I get defensive about my parenting. After Mark left, I spent so much time trying to prove I could do it all on my own. I know that feeling, I said. After Emily left, every parenting decision felt like a test I couldn't afford to fail. She took my hand, her touch warm and familiar now. Maybe that's why this is so scary. We've both been burned before. Terrifying, I agreed. But also worth it? I think it's worth it. She smiled, and I felt that now familiar flutter in my chest. I think so too. 1 year after our first date, we decided to move in together. We found a house with enough bedrooms for everyone, a backyard for the kids, and a kitchen big enough for family dinners. The day we moved in, Noah helped Lily hang fairy lights in her new room, while Melissa and I argued good-naturedly about where the couch should go. That night, after the kids were asleep, we sat on our porch swing, a glass of wine each, surveying what we'd built. Did you ever think we'd get here? She asked, her head resting on my shoulder. Honestly, no. After that first date, I was convinced I'd blown it. She laughed. You almost did, but then you called. Best decision I ever made. Well, second best. What was the first? I thought about Noah, about the years of single parenting that had shaped me, about the strength I'd found when I thought I had none left. Deciding that being a single dad wasn't going to define my whole life. That I deserved more. She squeezed my hand. We both did. 2 families, broken and rebuilt, now forming something new together. Not perfect, there were still arguments and adjustments, growing pains and compromises. But strong, resilient, full of love. If you're a single parent watching this, wondering if there's room in your life for love again, if it's worth the risk, the vulnerability, the complication, I hope our story gives you courage. Being a single parent taught me how to love fiercely, how to prioritize someone else's needs above my own, how to be strong when it felt impossible. Those aren't weaknesses to overcome in a relationship. They're superpowers. And if you're dating a single parent or considering it, know this, we come with baggage, yes. But we also come with twice the capacity for love, with hard-earned wisdom, with children who can expand your heart in ways you never imagined possible. My first date with Melissa wasn't perfect. Not after those 4 words that terrified me. But what we've built since then, it's better than perfect. It's real. It's ours. And that's a love story worth telling. Thank you for listening. If our journey resonated with you, please like this video and subscribe for more stories about finding love in unexpected places. Remember, sometimes the most beautiful beginnings start with the words that scare us most.